Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
Well, it is 8:06 on the Morning Majority, and we have Kurt Loder of MTV fame, Rolling Stone former editor, and author of the new book, The Good, the Bad, and the Godawful, Book of Film Reviews. How's it going, Kurt?
Very good. How are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. So tell me about what's opening this Christmas weekend. I know a lot of people are going out to catch a flick.
Well, most of it opens on Wednesday.
Right.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo opened, Adventures of Tintin, and on Sunday, War Horse opens. Those are two Steven Spielberg movies. And The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I think, is, it's a David Fincher movie, so it's a really amped-up version of the Swedish film. And that's worth going to see because Rooney Mara, who's the star, gives an amazing performance. Adventures of Tintin is like an animated movie from Spielberg, and it's technologically amazing. I think it's a little too long and kind of messy. And War Horse is a movie starring a horse
right.
that goes to war, and I thought it was really long. I expected Lassie to come bounding in the middle of it, just really syrupy, and I think there's a large audience for it probably, but I found it insufferable. I've
heard a lot of people talking about the trailer. They've been excited about going to see it. Is Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, did you like it more than the Swedish version?
No, I think it's just another. He's such a great director, David Fincher. I think he did a really good job. He went to Sweden to do it. If you're familiar with the Swedish film, you've already experienced what's great about the story. So you may sit through this and say, "Well, I know all this." But Rooney Mara is so good as the protagonist that it's worth seeing it just for her. She's incredible.
No, my wife read that book, and I know I'm going to be dragged to see that movie. The Swedish version that had subtitles to it, right?
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and it's a lot of people just don't like subtitles.
Yeah, that would be me.
It's like a valid reason for redoing it, I guess. And Fincher is just an amazing director, and it's Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor, who won an Oscar for doing the score for his movie The Social Network, also scored this. So it's a high quality production. If you're not familiar with the Swedish movie, it might be a knockout for you.
I keep hearing amazing things about the Scorsese film Hugo. Is that for all ages? I know it came from a children's book, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. It's I thought that was a little long too. It's a good Scorsese movie. I mean, what are you going to say? I wasn't knocked out by that, but a lot of people liked it a lot, and there's a lot to like about it. I think it's really made with a lot of love, and there should be a large audience for that. That's a family film.
Okay.
The Adventures of Tintin. Okay, I have to confess to not knowing that story. What comic is that? Where did it come from?
Well, it's a comic that ran from I think 1929 to 1982. It was by a Belgian artist writer, and they're enormously popular books in Europe. And they've sold a lot over the years. It's about a young reporter and his dog, Snowy, who go on sort of adventures all over the world. And the movie has very strong overtones of the Indiana Jones movies, also done by Spielberg, of course. So it's very enjoyable in a lot of ways. I mean, they go from one exotic place to another. There's a treasure, there's a chase, and it has all those elements. And I think a lot of people would enjoy it. I just thought it was too long.
Some of the reviews reference performance capture filmmaking technology. What does that mean?
Motion capture is a technique by which they cover actors with little sort of dots that are then scanned into a computer, so you can create what look like cartoons, but they're based on human movement, so they're startlingly lifelike. Still, you're looking at an animated character, but it's moving in a complex way that human beings would move. And I think the height of that was the character Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies. And Peter Jackson, who directed them, also played a large role in Tintin. So you have that incredible technological excellence that's worth seeing in itself, I suppose.
So you have Peter Jackson teaming up with Steven Spielberg in this, huh?
Yeah, how about that?
That's pretty cool.
That explains why I've seen a lot of press about this movie.
If you have kids, I think I would take the kids.
Yeah. It's a cartoon, but I heard it's similar. Is it the same technology that they used in Polar Express?
Yes, except it's not creepy.
Yeah, because the humans in Polar Express were tough to look at.
Oh, that's so bad. I hated that movie. It's come a long, long way, and you don't have that kind of dead-eyed character Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, right.
Inside the character, just begging to get out. You can still see his face. It's come a long way since then, and it's worth seeing now.
We were talking about Christmas movies earlier. People are sitting at home, maybe looking for some DVDs, something to watch over the weekend. What are some of your favorites as Christmas movies?
Oh, let me see. Well, I'm a big fan of, since my childhood, of the 1951 A Christmas Carol, which starred Alistair Sim.
Right.
He's the greatest of all Scrooges to me, and it had that old English. It's a British movie. You see old, Victorian London, the snow. It's just the top hats. I just love that movie. I think it's great. And I love Home Alone, which a lot of people seem to loathe. I'm not sure why.
I think it's a great movie.
I do too, but there are people who hate that movie. They say it's too violent.
It's too violent?
Yeah.
Of all things, I wouldn't say
It's
it was
like
too
Keystone
violent.
Cops violent. It was
Three Stooges count.
Yeah.
There are people who are just offended. They're very prissy about it. So I don't understand that. But those are two movies that I like to watch at Christmas.
All right, we're talking with Kurt Loder. He's got a new book out called The Good, the Bad, and the Godawful when it comes to movies. So we are coming towards the end of the year, and you have to have all these lists and things like that. And I actually enjoy those lists. So what would you say is the best film of the year this year?
The best film to me was, for what it means, is The Tree of Life by Terrence Malick, because it was very unusual, I think, for a big movie, in that it's about God in the universe, and it's about the importance of God in people's lives, and it's not ironic, and it's not mocking. It's very sincere on the part of the director. And when was the last time you saw that? And it's a beautiful, beautiful movie. It's sort of like 2001 in some ways, but Brad Pitt and Jessica Chastain are fantastic in this film, and I recommend it. It's very long, but it's good.
Is there a possibility of getting Oscar nominations for that movie? Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
Is there is there a trend toward longer movies? Because I feel like every review I've read lately is like it's 2 hours and 6 minutes long.
Yeah, well, I think there's some 2:30 movies too. That doesn't bother me so much. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is about 2:20, I think. I don't care how long a movie is if it's good. If it's bad, it becomes really unbearable. And there are some of those, of course. There's a great movie coming out next week from Iran called A Separation, and it's really one of the best movies of the year. It's about a minor domestic dispute, and it just grows into this huge story with a lot of moral complexity, and it's fascinating. It's just riveting.
From Iran, you said?
It's from Iran.
Wow.
You would think, does anything like that happen over there? But it's the director, Asghar Farhadi, I believe, is really talented. It's a really, really, really good movie. It's hard to tell people something like that, and they'll say, it's subtitled Farsi.
Made and produced in Iran as well?
Made, produced in Iran, and and it's set in Tehran, and you see their lives, and you see what part religion plays in people's lives, and that there's a number you can call for religious guidance, which I thought was unusual.
Are people free to create movies and films over there? I'm just curious.
Apparently so. I mean, maybe the problem would arise if there are political elements to it, I suppose. But this is a domestic story, but it has these large moral overtones, and it's very complex and really a great movie.
All right. Kurt, it's great to have you on. Thanks very much. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too.